Hello there, Carrie Rhodes here, back on the Heffy Doodle YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be making a shaker card with a bunch of fun things from the Heffy Doodle shop, starting with the wonderful Windows Masquerade stencil set. And yes, there are masks that go with it. There's also some etched lines on the back of the stencil so you can line up your cardstock and get these little windows right where you want them. I am using a finger dauber style blending brush and my saltwater taffy distress ink. I'm going to treat each of these squares kind of as its own thing, and I want there to be a darker shading on the outside of this image and the lighter blending on the inside. So kind of a highlight in the center when all is said and done. And I thought that would be easiest to just ink blend each individual square, having the darkest on the outside and the lightest areas on the inside. So that's what I did, and here you can see the final result. It's so pretty. So I'm going to set that aside and work on a frame for my shaker card. So I have the Imperial stitched rectangle die set, and I'm going to pick out two that I think make the right size frame for my card. So that's the largest and then the third from the largest die. They also leave stitching on the rectangle they cut out as well as the rectangle they leave behind. So you can use these in lots of different ways. All right, to dress this up a little bit, give it a little bit more interest because this is the full size of my A2 card, I want to darken up the edges a little bit. So I brought out some Lucky Clover ink and I'm just trying to get the very edge. Now, this is oxide ink, and when I do oxide ink, I like to use the traditional foam style blender, and I with other inks, dye-based inks, I use the brushes. So which do you like? Do you do that too, or do you just like the brushes now? Anyway, I brought in some more green here, and I'm just using that to kind of add some splatter on the edges and give a little bit more interest to my frame. So I used a scraggly paintbrush with the watered down ink, and it looks really good. I love just a little touch of interest there. For my shaker, I'm using this clear heat resistant acetate or window sheet, and what I want to do is stamp and emboss a saying on it, but I want to have it in the right place. So I brought out my Koality Hugs stamp set. It's so cute. And I'm going to take out my saying and my frame and just kind of arrange everything right where I want it. So I've got that window sheet in between my frame and my background. I'll use a little bit of anti-static powder there, and then I'll emboss my sentiment using clear embossing ink first, and then some white powder over the top. So I just want to be careful when I stamp this down not to push too hard, especially because I'm doing letters. If you push really hard, you can kind of squish them and make them a little blurry. So just a light hand, and then I tilted that in the light to make sure that everything was stamped really well. Sprinkled on my white powder and embossed it as I normally would with my heat tool. Now you can see there's a little bit of flakes there of excess powder, but it doesn't really show up when all is said and done. It looked like a lot right there, but it's not really. So I stamped out some images here. I wasn't sure exactly what all I was going to use, so I just colored up a bunch, and I might make a second card with the rest of them because I already have them out and they will be colored by the end of this. So I started my Copic Coloring with my alcohol-friendly cardstock from Heffy Doodle. I chose N4 as my darkest color on this little pair of koalas, and then I'm just going to my lighter colors, so N3 and N2 to finish this off. So I just wanted these to be just a really light gray. I chose neutral because I thought it went best with my card versus like a warm gray or cool gray, so I like having the neutrals as an option as well. So for their noses, I went a little bit darker with the N7 and N6, and then they need just a little touch of pink right in their ears, and I used my R20 marker for that. And I thought you might want to see how I colored out this tree branch. I only used one brown marker and one green marker, some very simple coloring. I'm leaving the ends darker and the center lighter, and some little flick marks just to give it a little bit of interest. Then for the leaves, I'm going to color the bottom side of the leaf, the part closest to the tree, a little darker, and then I'll spread that out with the same marker, but leaving it a little bit lighter, not going over it as many times. So there's still a little variation in shading there. And then I'm highlighting all the things with my white gel pen, and here you can see what everything looks like finished and colored. Now, one super cool thing about the coordinating die set is that this koala right here has a die that will cut around his little paws, so you can stick something in there like the present, or there's like a cell phone, there's a branch. Yeah, it's just really cute. So I am die cutting all the things out using my mini die cut machine because it's so perfect in size that I can bring it right onto my desktop even when I have stuff everywhere. For some accent on this card, I'm going to add some leaves. This is a fun little die set. It is the forest leaves die set. So I die cut out a bunch of those from glitter cardstock, and now we can start putting all the things together. So again, I have my window sheet laid on top of my background, and I'm bringing in my frame a few times so I can make sure I have good placement, have everything where I want it to go. And then it's time to build our shakers. So I'm going to put glue around the frame, and then I can easily attach my window sheet right to that. Now I just want to let this sit for a few minutes. I put a heavy block on top of it and started adding the foam tape to my background. So this is Heffy Doodle foam tape. It is not sticky on the edges, which is my most favorite thing about it. And I chose the thin version as opposed to the wide version. And now I'm adding my Pink Fizz sequin mix. So sequin mixes are somewhat new to the shop, and they have so many different sequin packs you can choose from, and they have different colors of sequins in them that coordinate together and different sizes. They're just really, really cool for shaker cards, and I love a shaker card, so I knew I wanted to play with them and make a shaker. So it's time to attach our card front to the card base, which is a top folding A2 size card. So it's 11 inches by 4 1/4 inches, scored at 5 1/2, and then my card front is glued right down to that. So speaking of gluing, I am adding on those die cut leaves from the light green glitter paper, and you can see it's going to really add something to my frame, but also kind of draw your eye into the center. And listen to that shaker. So fun. All right, one more little touch to this card. I am taking the tiniest heart. I use this heart all the time. It's from the Mini Mail Slimline die set. I die cut 3 from some pink glitter cardstock and putting that right above my little hugging koalas to complete the look on this card. So there we have the shaker card, and I thought it was fun to use the squares as something different in the background. I think it's a fun stencil for sure. And the koala bears, you just can't go wrong. They're so cute. So thank you so much for stopping by the Heffy Doodle YouTube channel today. We have new videos all the time, and if you'd like more inspiration, you can find us over on Instagram and Facebook too. I have all the products I used today linked for you below, so you can check that out. And if you're new to the Heffy Doodle channel, feel free to subscribe, and we'll see you on the next video. Bye!